thank you for checking out the channel at Ozark Overland Adventures. We are about to start a 5-day trip through the Ozarks, and I am super excited about this long weekend. It's Labor Day weekend. It's now Thursday morning, so we're going to go all the way through Monday. And the point of this trip and the whole purpose of this video series is to document a 5-day route through the Ozarks. If you've watched our channel, you know we just got back from a 9-day trip in Colorado, which was absolutely amazing. But navigating through Colorado it's honestly pretty easy. I mean, all the trails there have names, and you can put Black Bear Pass into Google and it'll take you right to the trailhead. And we don't have that in Arkansas. We've got some amazing trails. We've got a lot of beautiful things. But it can be intimidating because navigating the Ozarks isn't easy. We don't have names. We just have Forest Service road numbers and county road numbers. A few of them have, county road names, but that's it. So we are calling this the Ozark Overland Adventure Trail. And the plan is to share this when we're done so that anyone can run this and experience the Ozarks. It's going to have a good mix of technical and scenic along the way. There's going to be quite a few water crossings, so you need to pay attention to the weather. I'm actually almost to the start of this route, the northern part of it, at the Buffalo River at Woolum, and there's a water crossing there. And I picked it over Labor Day weekend because it's typically kind of dry this time of year. So I thought this would be pretty safe, but then we had a hurricane that came up through Louisiana that dumped a lot of rain on us. We had another series of storms that dumped rain on us the last 2 nights, and so water crossings are pretty high right now. So I'm not even sure that we will be able to do this first water crossing at Woolum. And if not, that's okay. That's what it's all about. There's an alternative way to go in that cuts this water crossing off through a little kind of a ghost town called Snowball. I'm going to document campsites along the way and going to kind of have this marked off into sections so that if you have a weekend and have 2 nights and 2.5 days, you can pick the sections you want to run and have possible campsites along the way, depending on if you run it quickly or if you have issues, and or taking your time and checking out all the scenes and all the waterfalls that are on this route. So hopefully be a lot of flexibility in how you choose to run this, and I hope at some point you get to run the whole thing, because Arkansas is a beautiful state. The Ozarks are amazing, and that's kind of the point of this. So hopefully you will enjoy this. You'll notice that I don't have the camper behind me. This is 5 days of minimalist camping. I don't really have a lot in my Jeep. I have food, I have my hammock, I've got my camera gear, and that's about it. So this isn't really a route that I would recommend pulling a camper on. The Ozarks are just too tight in a lot of places. So, but I know some people that have done it. If you don't mind possibly messing up your camper. But it's going to be a lot of fun. I am super pumped about this. Hopefully you will enjoy it, and hopefully you get to run the Ozark Overland Adventure Trail one day. The river's rolling pretty good. From here you can see both possible crossings. The main one right in front, and the other one that's a little shallower up there. I think actually that one's kind of become the main crossing here based on all the vegetation around it. But
when you don't know, this is what you do. Too deep. Too deep right there for sure.
Right here is not the depth I'm worried about, it's the current. As a point of reference, the Buffalo River USGS gauge at St. Joe was at 5.94 feet on this day. I know people who have successfully crossed the upper crossing at 5.5 feet.
That's a lot of water, dang.
However, the river channel changes after each flood, so be sure and check this crossing if you're worried about it being too much for you and your rig. We have decided to play it safe and not cross the Buffalo River here. I wasn't worried about the depth as much, but man, that was a lot of water coming down. That was a lot of current that would just push a rig all over the place. So I know it would have made for better video, seeing the crossing and maybe doing a recovery, but it also may have ended the trip early. So never ever take water for granted and how powerful it is. Water crossings are probably our number one obstacle in the Ozarks, that and deep mud. That's what you'll encounter the most of. So if you're going to come after heavy rains, be prepared. Extended breathers on your differentials, your transmission, your transfer case, if they don't have it already. A snorkel to prevent you from hydrolocking. So if you get to a water crossing and you are unsure of the depth or the flow and whether or not you can make it, do what I did and just get wet and walk it, even if it's wintertime. Don't risk it. Water's just too dangerous. I actually have a good friend of mine that went into a water crossing at night thinking it wasn't as deep as it was and wasn't as fast as it was, and it swept his rig right off the road and flipped it. Could have been bad. He ended up being safe. Rig was, of course, was totaled, but just don't chance it. Welcome to Snowball. Oh, wow. All right, well, we are on the other side of the Woolum crossing. That right there is the shallow spot that I tested the depth on. And so we've come the back way through Snowball and come back around here just so we could show you what this looks like from here, because this section of trail is beautiful. So we're gonna pretend like we crossed there and pick it up from here and continue on.
Used to be home, passing by those little towns I know so well, stopping for gas and then I'm behind the wheel again. Driving is like a spiritual cleanse, where every mile is a new beginning and every bend holds a new end. Eyes on the road, don't lose control. I'm speeding fast to chase my soul. I'm driving to get away. Running through emotions high and low, holding on or letting go. I'm fighting another day. Neon lights in the fast lane light, riding high, reaching for the sky. I had it all but lost and fell back down again.
Here it is. Right here is a little access over this bluff line to see the Buffalo River. It's called the Nars, or the Narrows. Let's go check it out. Huh? Really? What is it? Oh, ringneck snake. Where'd he go? Where's his head? There it is. Oh wow. Look at that. Beautiful. And this is why it's called the Nars, or the Narrows. Because you've got Buffalo over there, and the Richland Valley over there, separated by this very narrow bluff. There's the road right there.
To get away, running through emotions high and low, holding on or letting go. I'm fighting another day, heading back to what used to be home, where every mile is a new beginning and every bend goes to new end.
The first crossing of Richardson Creek can get deep, but is usually crossable without issue. Of course, if you're able to cross at Woolum, then you can definitely cross Richardson Creek at this crossing. Most of day one is easy dirt roads to some amazing waterfalls and beautiful scenery. Be sure and take your time and enjoy the sights along the way. It does get more technical later in the day. Well, we made it to Richland Creek Campground. It was actually open. Stopped here for a quick lunch, and then we're going to hit the trail again. But if you're in the area and get here later or whatever, this is a nice campground. If you need facilities, it's just a vault toilet, so you know, it's nothing fancy. There's no electric hookups here if you need that. But it's just a nice primitive campground. There is a small fee, but highly recommend.
This bluff line is very enticing and frequently lures people into driving up there for a photo op or a cool spot to camp. However, this road going up there is actually illegal, and people have gotten tickets from the Forest Service for driving up there, but feel free to hike up there if you want. If you cross Six Finger Falls, you'll find a trail that goes to the right that will take you to an amazing little grotto and another waterfall called Fuzzy Butt Falls. Falling Waterfalls is a very popular swimming hole during the warmer months. Unfortunately, the recent rains made it very muddy instead of its beautiful emerald green color. Jumping off the waterfall here is a lot of fun and a great way to cool off if needed. After crossing the highway after Falling Water Falls, the trail gets tighter and more technical in a few places, and you have several more water crossings to go through before making it to camp. We encountered several trees down from recent storms. Having a chainsaw handy to clear them will make things a lot easier.
All right, we are at camp. We actually got here super early. It's 7 o'clock now. We've actually been here since a little after 3. We made good time today, and it's always great when you can get to camp early. We are right here on the North Fork Illinois Bayou. We went swimming. Let me turn the camera around. Great swimming hole here. It's actually quite deep over there. Someone rigged up a rope swing. We played on that for a little bit. But yeah, this is camp. It's massive. Look at this. You could get 20 rigs in here. Look at that. We are both sleeping in our hammocks. There's my setup. Right now we're gonna prep dinner. I think Robert's gonna cook us some fajitas on his scuttle. And we're just hanging out. Nick should be here about 10ish. So that's the plan. We're loving this. Day 1 of the Ozark Overland Adventure Trail. Awesome.